Sherdog.com here with Rashad Evans, a former world champion. So you're taking on Daniel Kelly next. Tough kid, young guy, up and coming lion. What are your thoughts on him?
Like you said, he's a tough kid and tough man. I should say. He's older than me, but he's somebody that if you watch on film, you're not very impressed. You watch him on TV, you're not very impressed by his technique. But one thing that cannot be overlooked is his heart and determination. And he's somebody that is easy to overlook because he doesn't have all the technical attributes that you see in a lot of fighters at that level. But then you see the intangible in his heart and desire, and then he's a four-time Olympian. So he has the pedigree of the championship mentality.
Against him, how do you see this fight unfolding?
He likes to rush in and get the action going right away, and I'm all for that. One thing I told myself is that I'm not going to have too much of a mindset about how it's going to go down, this, that, and the other, because what happens sometimes is you get in your mind how the fight's going to happen, and then when the fight doesn't unfold the way you think it should happen or start the way you think, then you're in a bit of a shock. So I'm just open and just, I know he's going to bring the fight, and that's why I wanted to fight him, is because he's going to bring the fight.
What are his biggest strengths going into this fight, without giving away too much of your game plan?
What are my biggest strengths?
His biggest strengths.
What is his biggest strengths? Like I said, he's a judo guy, and with that judo, it presents a problem when it comes to the clinching and stuff like that. And another problem is that he's got great conditioning. He's got great conditioning, and he has great mental fortitude to push a long way. And that's the things that I had to really put in my mind when I'm getting ready for this guy, is that I have a guy who's in front of me who won't quit.
Obviously, every fight's important. We all know that. But with you coming off of 2 losses, do you think this is do or die for you personally?
I don't know. I haven't really thought of as do or die, but I would like to get a win in. For myself, I would love to get off that losing bubble. Just for a personal thing. But at the end of the day, I don't know if I haven't really internalized it to say is do or die.
When you hear or read the criticism of, Rashad, he's past his prime, he's not what he used to be, what goes through your mind?
It just makes me smile, because at the end of the day, I know what I'm capable of, and I know that, I had, 2 bad performances in the octagon, but I've been here before. I've lost to John Jones, and I lost to Nogueira, and then I came back and fought really well against Dan Henderson, and then against Chael Sonnen. So I've had this happen before in my life, so it's not like I'm in panic mode. I just know what I need to do because I've been here before.
And then what changes have you made going into this fight, if any?
One thing I've done more than anything, I've kind of pulled back a bit on just being coached a lot. I made sure that I was in charge of my camp, and I made sure that I did the things that, which really got me here. Dropping to 185 was one of those things that it helped me to get in touch with my body on a different level. And, with that said, I had to trust my body and trust everything that I've done along the way to develop myself to get to where I am, to get down to 185. So I took a lot on my own shoulders, a lot of responsibility for my training, what I was going to do each day, what I wanted to work on, the areas where I felt like I need to work on. And I still work with Henry Hooft and Greg Jones and Roddy Ferguson and Daryl Christian and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I made sure I did my own thing.
And then last question, who wins the main event, Tyrann or Wonderboy?
I don't know. It's a tough one, because if you look at the tail end of that fight, you see Tyrann was kind of getting his rhythm, getting his timing, and it's kind of coming on a little bit. But Wonderboy is a hard puzzle to figure out. I used to train with Wonderboy back in Albuquerque, and he was terribly difficult to consistently get him and figure out that puzzle, because he always changes things up with little nuances, because he's very fast and he still has those kicks. So it's a tough fight to choose.